And I'll open up the February 2nd Human Services Commission meeting. And any public comments? Oh, and we're opening our meeting at 7:02. Any public comment, Jeanette?
No, there's no public comment this week, this month.
And it's my pleasure to welcome Debbie Brander to our commission.
Thank you.
And would you like to be known by Barbiera Brander?
Brander is good.
Okay.
I mean, Barbieri is my legal name, but I usually go by Brander.
Okay,
Yes. It's
yeah.
also easier to spell and pronounce. So.
Do you hyphenate?
I used to, but then my passport and my license didn't match. Long story short, I had to legally become a Barbieri.
Okay. And
So just D. Brander Barbieri.
And Debbie is taking Jen's place. Jen had decided to step away. And we do have one other seat open. Pat Madden had to step down when he was offered the chance to be on the Charter Revision Committee. And, I don't know, between us and a charter revision, I'm not sure, but I think Pat wanted the added challenge, and so regretfully, he had to step away from us to be able to serve on that committee. But I'd like to, Debbie, if you give us like a 1-minute little snapshot of what brought you here, and we can all fill in the same question very briefly.
Sure.
Thank
So
you.
I moved to Woodbridge way back in 6th grade and went to Beecher School, and after college swore I would never come back to this little town. And then lo and behold, we did when the kids were kindergarten and 1st grade. And over the years, I served on the Economic Development Commission, and I was one of the founders of the Community Council, the Ad Hoc Community Council, which we ran for a number of years. And I just liked that type of service to the community members and really feeling, you could really feel your direct impact in how the residents benefit from the programs. And then, long story short, we sold our house. We were renting in other towns, and now we live down in the condos off Bradley Road near Arnie. And I wanted to get back into service for the town, and this opportunity opened up, and I'm happy to be here.
We're happy to have you.
Thank you. Thank you.
And have you met Nancy?
I did meet Nancy last week.
Very good. And maybe just go around the table.
Yeah,
Thank
Erin
you.
Scanlon. We met in the door.
You're
Coming in. I'm a clinical social worker in private practice in New Haven and resident of Woodbridge since about 2017.
2017.
Yeah, and on the commission for 2 years now. So welcome.
Nice. I know Viv from way back.
Yes, we went to high school together.
Yeah.
Same in class.
That's
Although
right.
you knew me as Lanku.
Yeah.
Lives say now.
Yeah, let's say, of course.
Wow.
Small world.
And Christy, you've met, she introduced, yes, okay, good. And you've met Jeanette, we've met.
Yeah.
You know Viviana.
Janet. Yeah.
Okay, and you've met Arnie.
Nice. Thank you.
I'm a newcomer. I've only been in Woodbridge since '94.
Oh, 94. Yeah, I think I'm 1980-ish.
Yeah, I was early 80s, I think. And we're welcoming someone new, but I also want to recognize someone who a little birdie told me has been on our Human Services Commission 25 years.
Wow.
And so, as a small gift for her service, Janet, we just want to thank you. The commission and the department. Beautiful. I'm not sure how many times in my life I'll be able to thank someone for 25 years on the Human Services
something,
Commission.
I thought it was only 18 then. When I went to get sworn in, they said, no, you got sworn in 2001.
Wow.
I
Congratulations.
was shocked.
And Nancy was here.
Yeah, Nancy,
I
you
came
were.
in 2002,
2000, well,
Yeah.
it was pretty,
right after.
because
But I was part-time.
when I retired from the PD,
Mm-hmm.
I wanted to stay involved.
So no pressure on Debbie. You don't have to stay
Wow.
25 years.
That's amazing.
You know something, I just like it.
Yeah.
And back in the old days, Paul, it was really different. Plus, I was the young squirt, and I knew all the old timers that were here because my husband grew up here and he knew everybody, so I got to know all the old timers. And it was kind of nice because I was able to help them in some ways when they reached where they needed help, I'll put it that way. I've enjoyed it.
Nice.
And you still got some more years to give us.
I hope so.
Yes, I know you do.
Absolutely.
Lori,
Are you willing to go to the nursing home with me?
we'll see what the future brings.
Thank you for this. You
We thank you for your
on my
service.
plans.
We
Thank you very much, everybody.
You are very welcome. Let's turn to the minutes from January 5th. I'll make a motion that we accept the minutes. Do I have a second?
Second.
All right, I'll go to Janet because I heard.
We'll start this
All right,
way.
Yes. And any discussion, does anyone see anything that needs to be changed? Looks like only Jen was out, and then Debbie obviously will abstain.
Right.
But any discussion or questions on that? Okay, all in favor? So moved.
Lauren? Lauren?
Oh, she's on the phone?
She is.
Okay.
Hi, sorry, yes.
All right, any additions to our agenda tonight? Okay. And do you want to go in this order and review the budget?
Yeah, I can step out and do this because we do the operating capital budgets separately from my report. So they've always been, I don't know, Mary Ellen, talk about old days, used to do it that way, so I continue. Thank you to Erin, who came as a supportive member. I know all of you had very different reasons, but you all had reasons that you couldn't attend. And so I do recommend, if you get a chance to watch it on the YouTube channel. We had a lot of questions. We actually were there for about an hour. If you need a way to fall asleep, I recommend watching that report.
There weren't questions that were really questioning,
No, they
what you
wanted
were
more
putting forward.
information.
Right.
Yeah, I felt supported.
So sorry.
I felt supported in their line of questions. Everybody seemed very receptive to what we were promoting. There are questions because we just don't know about the Community Services Department, and we don't know fully how we'll be staffed and how we'll be funded, which is not how you want to go into your presentation, and not being able to answer questions because it's either personnel or it hasn't been promoted by the first selectman yet, left me in a difficult position. But I think it went well. I wanted to thank Kathy, of course, for her partnership in presenting, and Christy, who, in-depth question that I'll get out of the blue, and she's got the information right there for me. So I couldn't ask for a better partner in that as well. And Kathy jumping in with information about your youth service bureaus, because she sat on the youth advisory board and was able to help with that information was really key, really helpful. So the presentation's out there. We presented on our operating budget. I do need to tell you that when you approved it at a 1.4% increase over last year's expected, projected expenses. It turned out, so my template was missing a staff member. Just a few hours a week, she works 8 hours a week, but the part-time staff was missing her position, and I was having trouble trying to find a place for it. So we did get through our preliminary, our approval here, but by the time I made the presentation to the Board of Selectmen and Board of Finance, we were able to locate her and put her into the budget. So we are actually increasing by 1.8%, which considering about $20,000 of our budget is an increase just for salaries, with the 2.5% increase, cost of living increase, and we were able to defray it in a lot of ways. I think we did very well. And it, I can say this a million times, I'm saying this for Debbie's benefit now. They could wipe out our whole budget and the mill rate would not change. Maybe it would go down by 1%, 1 point. So we use, compared to $23 million going to Beecher, our 600,000, 500 and change, not changing the budget. So that is about, and obviously we presented on the 5 capital budget requests. One of the capital budget requests, I have to say, Kathy helped me make a note. It was about the humidity here. You'll remember that last year when we presented, they said, oh no, that's really an important issue. Let's take that out of contingency and not leave it in capital budget. And as you also know, it didn't get done. So somebody in the room said, oh no, that's really an important issue. Let's take it out of contingency and not leave it in capital. And so they asked me to make a note. Kathy made a note. Next day I sent an email off to Mika to let him know that we needed that added to their overall thinking on contingency spending. And he called me to say, what does this mean? And I'm sure he heard about 1,000 reports in a couple of days. And I just explained to him that we'll want to get this done ahead of July 1. And that's what the Board of Selectmen was saying as well. He said he couldn't add it to the February Board of Selectmen meeting because they don't know what the contingency is yet. We have to get through this winter. So I said we're never getting through the winter, and he agreed. And but we won't know until April. We won't know until So he'll add it. He made a note to add it to the agenda of the Board of Selectmen meeting for April. So hopefully, Chrissy, we'll get this place remediated.
It's
We'll keep pushing.
74% humidity and 80% humidity in the summers. Quite high. I mean,
Right.
uncomfortable for the seniors.
Well, yeah. I mean, it's very hard to be cold and sweaty at the same time. It's just quite clammy here. So we have to air condition, but we can't really air condition well because it brings in too much outside air, which is humid, and so we can't treat the air.
And the air's heavy. It's hard for them to put it.
Yeah, and it's supposed to be, what we paid for was having the cleanest air possible with the ERV system that we have, but it is certainly not functioning at an optimum level.
That level of humidity can't be good for all these wonderful new cabinets and
Right.
other furniture also.
Doors, cabinets, her papers are curling, her hair.
I'm interested in that every now and then.
Okay, well, let's hope that this year it'll get done.
Yeah, fourth time is the charm.
Yes. Okay, any other questions on that?
That doesn't need to.
No, we don't need a motion for that, but Nancy, would you like to give us your report?
So we had scheduled the winter paint party at Beecher Road School originally for January 13th, but we rescheduled. We didn't have enough takers, so it's rescheduled for February 10th after school from 3:25 to 5. Picasso Parties is a vendor that we brought in several times, and they do a really nice job. Usually 2 women come in and they bring all the supplies and the paints, everything. So all we really have to do is just be there, get the kids signed in, and provide the snacks for the kids. So it's $15 per child, and we have 10 families signed up so far.
Nice.
Vaping prevention, again, due to the recent snowstorm, Tricia Dahl, who works at Yale School of Medicine, and she has done vaping programs for us before. She's very good. So she will come, we agreed on the date of February 12th, so hopefully that will work out. And she'll come to the middle school and see the 7th graders and the 8th graders separately. So hopefully that'll work. But it's really good for the kids because there's a lot of kids who are vaping at the high school level, so we want to nip it early on.
I work with teen
And
boys.
you do, yes, it's scary.
terrible.
And they're, it's hard to explain to a teenager why. And Now there's more data. You know, originally it was hard to say it's dangerous because there wasn't enough data, but now there is more data. Kids have been sick and you know, they worry about the oil in the lungs, and it's different. It's different from, you know, regular tobacco smoking. So, and there's more that can be vaped, unfortunately. So we are concerned about kids and their, you know, when you smoke a cigarette, you know you smoked one cigarette, or you know you smoke a pack a day or whatever, but when you vape, it's hard to know just how much nicotine you're actually taking in, because it's just, you know, you vape until it's gone, and then some of those things are refillable, you get the oils you refill. So we really want to prevent that, you know, at this level. There were some volunteers, and thank you to some families for, you know, parents and children helping, and Aaron's been here. And we have another gentleman who's coming with he came with his son, and we have a few more kids interested. Some scouts are trying to work on their community service hours, so we'll get them in, get the food sorted. So it seems to be doing well. We did get a beautiful donation too today of the laundry detergent from one of our
we
residents.
probably got 40 containers of laundry soap.
Wow. Very, very generous woman, very generous, and thank her.
Really great.
Job Bank, we got some more requests finally. Things picked up, of course, as soon as it snows. It's just that not too many people anticipate the snow. They wait until after it snows. And then it piled up and piled up. And so, you know, there was one job I basically said, you know, it would be cheaper for you to hire someone to plow than it would be to get, you know, 3 kids in there and do a couple passes, because there was that much snow. And but we did some snow shoveling, like for steps and walkways after people had their places plowed. We still have a couple more. Someone called today, and I had one boy who was going to do it for someone, and then he called me yesterday and said he was injured shoveling his own house out, so he's not able to do it. So I'm still working on it. We are getting some smaller jobs, like someone wants someone just to do dishes every night, or to come clean up the playroom or the kitchen every night. And I just, frankly, I can't imagine any Amity kid who wants to run anywhere 1 hour a night and get paid for 1 hour and take that kind of time, you know. And I did try to explain to people, they do like to come for a couple of hours, you know, and maybe 1 day, 2 days a week, or a day on the weekend or whatever, but Amity students are busy kids. These kids are really busy, and so, you know, we have to, sometimes I might have to say you might need another service for that. But we'll see. I have been trying to fill these jobs and not getting kids for that amount of time, honestly. And I don't blame them. I really don't. I did one interview, and honestly, this boy has been in my office probably at least 3 times already, if not 4. He wanted to come in, find out about it. Came back again, you know, gave him the application, he brought the application back. He walked in the other day and said, do you have any jobs? You know, I give him credit. I love that kind of passion, you know, so he walked away with a job that day. Attendance Review Board, I did participate in the Amity Attendance Review Board at the high school the other day. There were 2 students, and you know, it's interesting to hear, you know, just situations, and some kids just don't have a perfect situation at home, and so it was just interesting to sit in on that and, you know, offer some suggestions and ask some questions that need to be asked and things. So I do enjoy being there for that, absolutely. Babysitter training, I'm scheduling that ahead. I don't know, well, Jeanette hasn't said anything, but I do plan to be retiring over the next couple months, so don't have the exact date yet, but we're talking about just trying to get some things planned ahead. So we will have Anna Maria Moss. She's been doing our babysitter training as long as I've been here, honestly. So she's planning to be here April 14th to 15th. We do half days, just because when you have 7th and 8th grade, you know, they're really not able to sit the whole day. If they do, I don't know that they take as much in, you know. But it's a really good course, and kids get lots of hands-on practice, because she brings the little CPR mannequins, and so they really do get to practice holding, learn how to feed, learn how to pass the child from one to another, and then they watch some videos on just discipline and, you know, how to handle different situations. So really good course. Home Alone, I haven't planned it yet, but I'm hoping to plan that maybe like it's an after-school thing, maybe 2 days in March. It's a nice course, and usually we have our school resource officer from the high school, Frank Sapione, he usually comes and helps with that. So I'll try to work out some dates with him if we can. And let's see, youth evening program, we are planning a sixth grade meet and greet. So that brings the sixth graders from Bethany and Woodbridge together, and then they'll come for an evening party at the middle school. So that's like a first opportunity to get to the middle school, have a little fun, but find out, where things are. And they really do enjoy it. So we have an inflatable booked, the Hippo Chow Down again, which is like the Hungry Hippos game, but on an inflatable, and DJ, and we'll have some games and pizza and a raffle. And so we've sent some information out, and we'll continue to blast that information. Grants. It's interesting this year. And I did explain before, although you weren't here, Debbie, but we were told what to apply for this year in the grant. And then we applied for these certain amounts and thought we were approved for those amounts. And in December, found out from DCF that they're not allotting those amounts in the same places. So we had a grant, the enhancement grant, which normally we fund the after-school guided study program at Beecher. They kind of flipped almost the amounts from our enhancement grant to the supplementary grant. It's a little crazy. But anyway, our Youth Service Association for the whole state came together. We put some questions together, sent them to DCF. DCF said they would meet. We had a Zoom meeting. They said they would record it. We had the meeting. Didn't get a lot of good answers. They said they were able to take, they're allowed to take a certain amount out for administrative fee, which they've never done before. So some of it, the grant was actually reduced a little bit, and then we have this situation where the amounts are flipped. So we were trying to figure out, can we still fund this thing? So Jeanette and I talked, we're going to go ahead with funding the after-school guided study program. I'll do whatever revision I need to do with them. I have sent at least 3 emails and made 2 phone calls, and everyone at DCF seems to be silent right now on these matters. So we are waiting for some answers. In the meantime, I did the quarterly data that was submitted today, and they talked about, they're actually doing a training now, this company that does the app, where we enter the information and then they get all the information. They collect it, process it, and then they send totals to DCF. They said they'll probably be working on an app for next year. So in the meantime, each Wednesday this month, they're doing a training. So we have a few people in our office doing the training at the same time, so they'll all be familiar with it. And we'll see what happens. I don't know what's going to happen with the application this year, so moving forward. But hard to work on the impact plan, which the impact plan was, Jeanette and I thought we would work out like the details of what's happening with, maybe possible community service department, how it's going to work, and we don't really have answers there yet. So we haven't been able to do an update to the impact plan because we don't know. I mean, that's our update with them. We just don't know. So, but we shall see. So we'll just go ahead. We'll plug away doing what we've been doing, and wait to hear. That's it.
Thank you.
All right. Thank you.
Well, I'll make a motion to accept the youth services report. Do I have a second?
I'll second.
Viviana, do we have any discussion, questions? All in favor? And we have Lauren?
Yes.
Thank you.
Yes.
Okay, so moved. Thank
Is that
you.
2 votes, Lauren?
Yes, yes.
I'm trying to. Okay, thank you.
Okay, on to Christmas report.
So as everyone's well aware of, this winter, it's been extremely cold and snowy. It's not leaving. But it's resulting in, and there's a lot of illnesses too going around, and it's resulting in a lot of cancellations at the center. Not necessarily that day, but even leading up to it.
Not our cancellations, people who are attending
The
cancellations.
members cancel.
Right.
And also many of our members watch their grandkids also, so that also adds to it. So just keep that in mind for January. Milford Health and Rehab continues to offer monthly craft workshops. And then the Painting for Pleasure class had a 5-week break due to the holiday closures, and the instructor had to take a short-term medical leave. So that'll resume on February 23rd. Beginner Mahjong classes have been offered by a volunteer regularly, and it's resulting in weekly 16 to 20 people in attendance on Wednesdays of all different levels, which is really nice to see that increasing because it was fading off for a while. We also started at the beginning of January a 4-week volunteer-led instructional canasta session, and we have one in January, and then we have another 4-week one in February, and they filled, there's a 6-person limit just so that the instructor's able to effectively teach it, and we already have a waiting list for March, so, and we're having it so that you can't repeat signing up for the class so that everybody can participate, and by the time they get through the 4 weeks, the instructors say that they're ready to play even though they don't feel that way.
It's hard.
Yeah. But so that's really nice because that was very low in attendance, and that also is increasing, and there's a lot of interest in that. We had an ARP Smart Driver class on January 14th, and that was offered through a grant again, so there was no fee for the attendees. And then the American Red Cross and Yale New Haven Health offered the first of 3 for 2026 hands-only CPR courses, which Jeanette worked with Jen at the library to bring to the library and the center and staff, I think, too.
Yeah, we're going to do a couple in April for public works staff and town hall staff, yeah.
It was a very cold morning, and after some snow, which is pretty much every morning. But so the people that came, they really appreciated it. It was really effective. The instructors were great, and they really got a lot out of the class. It went really well. Our January winter luncheon was sponsored by Hearts at Home. We had 30 people attend that. We had 40 people registered, or 39, so that just kind of gives an example as to the cancellations that we're kind of dealing with. In February, we have a couple luncheons planned. We have a Lunar Valentine luncheon, which will celebrate the Lunar New Year and Valentine's Day. Probably the only place where you can celebrate both at one lunch. One time, Jeanette and I had a drive-through that celebrated 5 February holidays.
Yeah, except one of them was Super Bowl. That's not a holiday.
Well, we got soup in there, so.
Right.
But the Lunar Valentine luncheon is sponsored by Opal Stork, and then we're also having a Mardi Gras luncheon that's sponsored by Hearts at Home. We have 50 people signed up for the Lunar Valentine luncheon so far, and about 40 for the Mardi Gras luncheon. And then we have a couple lunch and learns that we're offering. This Thursday, we're having a lunch and learn on precocious parrots, the facts behind the feathers, and that'll be offered by the Connecticut Parrot Society. And actually our very own Sharon, who's the communications person, she's part of the Parrot Society, and this is part of what she does, so we found out about it. So it sounds very interesting. She shares stories.
Just parroting that information.
We have 20 people registered for it, and Coachman Square will provide a lunch. And then at the end of February, we're going to offer the ABCs of Legacy Letters, and that's going to be offered by a certified senior advisor, with Milford Health and Rehab providing a lunch. And there's quite a few people signed up for that as well. Our January attendance was 817, which is higher than the December and November ones, but it is down compared to last year for the reasons that I already mentioned a couple times. And then going on to the center culinary offerings, we're looking into restructuring the culinary offerings at the center. Just for a brief background, we opened the center in June of 2023 after the pandemic and the renovation. And then 7 months later, our vendor, when we opened, we had a catered hot meal program on 2 days a week. And we had the meal delivery program with the frozen meals. And then 7 months later, in January of 2024, the vendor doubled our prices. So it went from $5 to $10 for both the meals that were delivered, frozen, and also the in-person lunches. So through asking our people who were buying the frozen meals what their preference was, they preferred to just continue with the meals that were being offered, and then their fee went up to $10. For the in-person lunch, we couldn't expect them to pay $10 for the meal that's delivered, or that we offered through here. So we got a little inventive, and that's when we started offering the lunch and learns and the once a month pizzas, lunch, and then like a themed lunch once a month also. And then on the other day, every Tuesday, we have the sandwich lunch. The Tuesday lunches, we have maybe 10 to 15 people for a good day, which isn't really a lot. Usually sometimes even less. And then Thursdays are dependent on, if we have lunch and learns and themed lunches. So and sometimes there are sandwiches also. So we're really not offering the hot meals anymore. So we're looking into, Jenna and I are looking into the possibility of bringing back an in-house chef who could prepare the meals in-house, and then we'd have more control over how healthy they are, and
Local produce,
right.
local, keeping things local, keeping them healthy.
And we'll have more flexibility with it. We're thinking maybe of bringing them in one day a week and having them prepare stuff for the rest of the week if we have lunch and learns, or if we need, some kind of a morning breakfast treat to go with, like coffee and conversation with Mika or something like that. So we're exploring that right now. But I did, if you look on here, you can kind of see the decrease through the FY years of where we're at. And especially the delivered meals, they've gone down substantially, as you can see on the third grouping. One of the things we're also thinking about is if we have an in-house chef, of possibly being able to have them prepare frozen meals as well that could be delivered. So we're at the early stages of looking into it, but that's something that hopefully we'll have more on in the near future. And then lastly, grants. The final grant report for the 2024 transit was submitted in January. For the 5310 grant, so that part's done, but we will be applying for funding for a larger van in the next grant cycle, which the deadline is March 31st. So Jeanette and I are going to be meeting
On Thursday to start working on the
that
documents.
process.
Yeah.
And the
We did one in 2016, we were successful. We still have that vehicle. We did one in 2020. We have that vehicle. No, we got rid of the 16. We have the 2020.
No,
we have the 16 and the 20. We got rid of the 12.
we waited a year because we didn't need it right away. So,
Right.
Now we're applying.
Right. So we'll hope to be successful again with a larger vehicle.
And then lastly, we applied for an Older Americans Act Title III grant in the amount of $4,250. I was exploring the idea of bringing some music to the center in different ways. One with a choral leader, so that there's a choral group, and another way with keyboards for lessons with keyboards. And so I was kind of brainstorming and thinking of different ways to maybe fund it with sponsors, and I talked to Jeanette, and Jeanette said, oh, what about a grant? And then she said,
There's a mini grant
well,
for
what about
area
this
agency
grant?
on aging.
And she's like, let's see when it's due, and it was due the next day, so.
And she was taking off that day.
It was 4 o'clock in the afternoon, and we were like, yay, bad timing.
No, it was good timing.
They got it in. They got it in.
It was a
good-
preliminary
good bad timing.
outline. That's all it
Yeah.
was.
But it still took some time, but we put it together and we submitted it, and we found out late today that we were approved for, the letter of intent was approved. so we can go forward with submitting the grant.
Which was about $4,500, I can't remember what we.
4250.
$4,250.
And when's that
Such a
one?
great idea, the keyboard.
March 31st.
Very creative.
But they won't, they're not posting the application, would you say, until February 12th?
Yeah, February 12th.
Yeah, so we can't even start it for another
For
10
another
days.
week.
Woohoo!
Is there a correlation of receiving the grant? You know, what are the odds if you've received the letter to go forward?
There'll be a training, so if we are, once we get into the process, we've gotten this grant before, and there was a training, and you get to see all the other people who've applied and what they've applied for. So that'd be interesting. I don't know what the pool is. They have, how many member towns?
I think they just want to filter out the applications that were,
Ridiculous,
not lined
yeah.
up at all.
Right.
And then we go from there.
Right.
Nice. I love that idea.
Christy, has any of your clients expressed an interest in singing in a choral group or
They
in
have
keyboarding?
several have, and many of them are aware of the benefits of music
Right.
with cognitive health, especially as you age. So
Okay.
they have been. And one person in particular had asked about keyboard lessons. Our aerobics instructor is a pianist, and but she's too busy to teach. But there's another one who's an active member here who may teach. REC, I guess, used to offer keyboard lessons a while ago, and there was a chance that they had their keyboard still, but unfortunately they didn't. So. Just
But the grant will
different way.
cover
Mhm.
cost of sheet music for the choral, the instructor for choral, and the instructor for the keyboards and the
Sheet
keyboards.
music,
It's great.
So,
So great.
yeah. Well, no,
No, the
not
411 is gonna-
not the instructor for the keyboards. That was
Just the choral?
the instructor fees for the choral.
Okay.
The keyboards for the and the sheet music.
And the sheet music,
The-
right.
For the
So fees
music
would cover the
sessions.
teacher for
Yes,
That's right.
Yes,
keyboard.
yes, we were charged.
Keyboard.
we also often try to make things cost neutral.
Could I go back a little bit?
Oh,
A
sure.
couple of items to the culinary offerings. I have a thought, which might be completely ridiculous.
Oh, no.
But I'll throw it out there anyway.
Absolutely.
What are you thinking in terms of like a chef? Like how are you going to get somebody to prepare food?
We had a couple in the past, right?
You have?
We've
Okay.
had, we've
Oh,
had,
okay.
we
I
had
thought
a
it might be
chef.
hard to find somebody for just like 2 days or 1 day or
Right.
something.
You know, it can be anything from someone who works in a restaurant who's
Yeah.
off every Monday and they come
Okay.
on a Monday to cook here, or it can be somebody who has a small catering business, or anybody who has a
Or retired, or
Right,
all
a
that
license.
too, or-
And the kitchen is still up to all of its current
Yeah, we
licenses
use
and all
it.
that stuff.
oh yeah,
Yeah.
it's inspected every year.
One place, this is probably not going to work, but I'll throw it out there anyway. The JCC has a cafe,
Right.
and it's a cafe that there are a couple of full-time employees, but all of their staff are people with cognitive disabilities almost all from Chapel Haven. And it's a wonderful place, and they do a great job. And I'm not sure if their culinary offerings would meet what you would do, but I thought it would be wonderful if you had some folks from Chapel Haven literally working, serving or preparing or what have you.
And they
I
all
thought it
come
would
with
be
their
helpful.
supervisors. Yeah.
Yeah.
I worked at the J when they started that program.
I know
daughter works at
the
JCC,
manager
at the
there,
cafe, the J Cafe.
who's your
Nick
daughter?
Jenny
Alexiades.
Holtzman.
Oh, Nick.
Oh, no kidding.
She works there on
Yeah, he grew up.
Wednesdays.
Oh, it's great, and
It's
the members
great.
love it. And at Chapel Haven, they have a very talented culinary crew that cooks and serves for their residents and guests. So they're very qualified.
Great to know.
Just something
Certainly
that might be
worth
a
exploring.
win-win kind of thing.
Gateway when I worked with the
Yeah,
child
yeah,
care
or
center.
Gateway, people can maybe even get internship
Yeah.
credit for it.
Absolutely.
And there's transition program at the high school too, where students.
True.
You know, the
Yeah.
only
Yeah.
downside is consistency and continuity.
Right.
Is we want to make sure we're dealing with somebody who is going to, have planning, have the ability to do the shopping. We're not going back to ordering from purveyors who charge us a freight fee, a gas fee, a delivery fee. It just that was a disaster. So we're gonna try not to.
So this is the
Blow it out.
beginning of the Explore.
Right, right.
And
Or,
we'll
you know,
hear more.
I wonder if anyone has like if there's
It's a concept of an
a food
idea.
truck, but only certain days of the week or something, maybe they would prepare something and bring it, you know, drop something
Yeah,
off.
but like anything, it's the cost, the hourly cost of whoever's cooking the food plus the cost of the food, and then what do you turn around and sell it for to try to break even? It's
Right, right.
still very, everything's
It is.
expensive, yeah.
But I do, think that it's, definitely worth the time to explore it, and the piece that we tag on the frozen meals. So we'd be getting both pieces, since, the frozen meals is still something people.
And control
Indeed.
over the salt in it and the health values in it, and, hopefully maintaining some kind of relationship with a local farm and getting some fresh produce. So there's lots of advantages to trying this.
And just selfishly, it would take a lot off of my shoulders because I have to, decide the meals and the lunches and pick up the food and I would be happy to
Yes.
pass that along.
Right, right.
Plus a hot meal,
Awesome.
it's always better than a.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes, absolutely.
Right, so stay tuned, I'm sure we'll be hearing more. Anything else, Christie, that?
So, yeah.
Okay, I'll make a motion then to accept the Woodbridge Center report. I'll take Arnie, I'll take a second from Arnie. Any other questions? All in favor?
Yes.
Thank you. So moved. On to Human Services.
Sure. So tomorrow, the VITA program starts, Volunteer Income Tax Assistance. And I believe we will have 5 providers. I'm sorry, but there is a perfectly full moon right out there. It's gorgeous. It'll be lovely. We have 8, just 8, we limited it to 8 appointments for tomorrow, just to get them underway, get them in their locations. I did meet with IT and got printers and computers all hooked up and ready for them to go. Again, for anyone who needs a reminder, this tax assistance is available to those whose income is roughly less than $60,000, and who may have language English as a second language, or has a disability. Seniors are also included in that category, but you have to have a very simple return. So you can't be, I have one guy who keeps calling me, he's a day trader. That gets, complex. Or some woman called me and she owns an apartment building. That is a lot of income, and then, somebody else who works in 2 different states. These have to be simple returns that can be done in a half an hour's time. So that starts tomorrow for 10 weeks. Generally we take between 150 to 200 returns that are completed. And we had a Red Cross blood drive last Friday. We had 32 appointments, of which 9 were first-time donors, which is exciting. And our message got out to people and they were excited to join in. So 32 appointments, 29 total donations. There were a couple of people who were on, I think it's called Eliquis. It's a blood thinner.
Yeah.
And they would not take blood from those folks. So a couple of people turned away, but other than that, it was a good time for everybody to be able to donate blood, and we're so short on our blood supply nationally. Wear Red Day is this Friday, as is the vaccine clinic. The annual Wear Red Day for Women's Heart Health will raise funds from just the employees. We get together, we take a picture, we put it on Facebook, and we give out chocolate. Talk about Women's Heart Health. No, most of it is dark chocolate. And when we gave up, Mary Ellen used to have heart-shaped donuts, but we decided that we just couldn't go through with that. The vaccine clinic is here in the lounge. We'll have COVID vaccine, I don't know if anyone's still interested in flu. I saw the list and nobody had signed up for flu, but we have shingles, and we had a lot of people who came in our September, October, and November clinics who got a first shingles shot, and we're right in the wheelhouse for the second in that series. And some people that just, Friday signed up for RSV, and we have the Pneumovax vaccine. So this is our last clinic. This is our winter clinic, and it is our last until next fiscal year. We'll go ahead and start flu in the fall again, and COVID. And so if anybody, we have plenty of appointments. It is a small clinic, but I'm waiting to hear from Coachman Square. We offered them transportation and vaccines if they have any new clients who haven't been vaccinated and they need to get over here. So I'm waiting to hear from the director there. The food pantry I applied for and was granted a United Way of Greater New Haven's Neighbors United campaign. This provides $2,000 to the food pantry. We have some reporting with it, but nothing like Nancy's kind of reporting. This, we'll take the money in. We have to spend it by June 30th. So, just like we got, 40 containers of laundry soap today, we will go out and buy olive oils or vinegars or whatever. We're going to buy some food. We need tubs for storage. We need to get, we have no more room for racks until we can move into our new space when we get it. And that's about it, but that's exciting, just to have a grant drop into your lap like that. Really was the shortest application I've ever done. Other than the one we did.
Well, that wasn't the whole application.
Just about the Earth Day event, I met with First Selectman and department heads for Earth Day planning with Hillary Drum. They would like the Human Services Department to once again coordinate the tag sale. We had 2 members of the commission, which I think ended up just being 1 member of the commission who mostly did everything. And that was Erin last year. I'm hopeful we could put Erin, who has the knowledge, together with somebody else. Maybe Debbie wants to jump in.
When is it? The 25th?
It's April 25th, yeah.
I have a work weekend with the teams, I'm sorry. Yeah, April 24 to 26.
Except that it doesn't, you don't have to be there. It's
Oh.
just the work leading up to it to organize, the people who are. Could you do that work by yourself? Did you do it by yourself? I'm just curious.
I helped Hillary and Deej do, they were really, they sort of knew what they wanted. I helped them execute what,
Okay.
and then we just pulled it together.
Do you think we need 2 commissioners?
It would help to have, I think, more than one person there that day. I do
Right,
think
so
it-
not Debbie.
Yeah.
The
Sorry.
actual 25th.
Yeah, I mean, last year it was, I think partly because we had to be indoors.
Right, and they're trying not to do anything indoors this
Yeah.
year, even if it rains, they're trying
Okay.
to find a way.
It's such a great day. It's such a great day. The
Yeah.
weather just didn't cooperate last
Right.
year.
Well, do you want to do it again? I didn't even ask, I just sort of put that in your lap.
Yeah, I will, I'll do it. I just,
And I can be there that day. So
okay,
I just-
yeah. I'll touch base with Hillary.
Okay.
Hillary and I are friends, so.
Yes, and I remember I couldn't be there last year because I was in Europe.
Oh, yes.
But potentially I'll be here.
It's actually not that heavy of a lift.
Well, I've run it for like 5 years before that, so
Yeah.
4 years before that. So,
Yeah.
yeah, definitely, we could do it. That was in the parking lot. When the seniors did it, you ran it, right? Them out front, a couple of years out front.
The folks who were like holding their own tag sales did really sort of bulk of the labor, I was sort of like overseeing and directing traffic.
Telling them where their spot is
Yeah.
and finding out who wants a spot
Right.
and,
And
getting
who
them to
takes someone
pay.
else's spot. Yeah.
Very good, thank you. Well, I know you guys are tired of me saying I have a driver for the position. This literally is the third time. So we have a candidate for driver. He's a nice guy. His name is Ed Colavolpe. We've interviewed him and I sent in the background check. It came back clear. I got his references and only one has called me back, so the motion will be contingent on appropriate references. And we are waiting on his updated endorsement for his license, which he is working on. So we'd like a motion to approve the hire of Edward Colavolpe as a part-time driver for the Senior Transportation Program at $18.50 per hour, contingent on clean background check. Nope, we know he has one. Contingent on appropriate references and his updated endorsement. I think that's in my report, so you can just put quotes around it.
Yep.
Okay.
Somebody want to
I'll make a motion.
Viviana and Janet, just a second. Any other discussion? Besides, we hope this sticks.
Fingers crossed.
Viviana made the motion.
Yeah, and she seconded.
And
Jen
Janet.
seconded.
Can I just add that the two drivers that it leaves, because we're supposed to have three, and at one point we had four because one was per diem, are just doing a really remarkable job filling in and working all the days and hours that they have to and picking up the slack and always thanking me for giving them the time. So they're really great guys and we're lucky to have them.
Thanks for reminding us.
No, that's great. And the one reference I got from this guy earlier today said he was how can I help kind of guy. So, which is really great. So did you vote?
No? All in favor?
Yeah.
Yes.
So moved.
Okay. There was another matter on personnel, and that is we are requesting a change in the title of the Woodbridge Center assistant, who is Sharon Pressner. We want to rename her Woodbridge Center Communications Coordinator, as that title more reflects what she does here. And she is 8 hours a week. But she does a great job. She does all the flyers. She does works on the newsletter. She does website postings.
Just the monitor,
Coordinates the
Just
communication.
all the pictures.
I'm just gonna have to get the budget document updated to reflect.
Right,
her
that's the one
title.
that was missing.
That was the one that was missing in the
Yeah,
first
that was-
place.
right.
Yes,
Well,
so-
I'll make a motion to change on the title from Woodbridge Center Assistant to Woodbridge Center Communication Coordinator. And I need a second. It's Erin. All in favor?
Yes.
Thank you. And anything else, Jeanette?
Yeah, one more
Yes, I
thing.
see, there's
Sorry.
something else. Oh, two couple
I'm
things.
just writing down the motion, sorry.
Take your time.
And that was Kathy and Erin.
Correct.
Thank you. Okay, just one more thing, two more things. The Woodbridge Center Recreation Room, which is room 7 upstairs in the former child care center. We did get Hasbro's estimate for the remediation of the asbestos in room 7, and he added in room 9. And there were a few, as I said in the report, there were a few errors which I corrected. And he had come in at $17,000, and it just seemed wrong. But he corrected it right away, and now it's just under 12, which falls into the we can do this category. And Tony said that he would get the PO started, so we're going to move ahead with both rooms are gonna be remediated, just so you guys know, both rooms will be remediated. This comes out of capital dollars we received for that space prior to applying for the STEEP grant. As you know, we didn't get the STEEP grant because the town wasn't in compliance with its PSCD. We're hoping they'll allow us to apply for that again and include in the scope of that the playground and the lobby and the other classrooms and that hallway. But for now, we have money from the capital budget, which was $20,000, which is actually $21,500 because we came in under budget for the little secret garden stair remediation. But we have money for the remediation for the asbestos, and then we got 2 state grants through the state legislature for $25,000 for FY26 and FY27, a separate $25,000. So by June 30th, we have to spend that $25,000 on flooring and new sink and paint and stain and lighting, so it'll go fast. But we have until June 30th to get the room remediated and get it looking presentable to the public. The second room will wait till July 1, but if it's already remediated, we have another $25,000 on July 1, the start of FY27, and we're going to remediate that room or renovate that room in a less aesthetically pleasing way.
Well, the first
You know,
room is
it's-
going to be used by the public, it'll have the ping pong table, pool table, and maybe some extra, card tables, some furniture. So that's a public-facing room, so it'll be dressed up a little more. And the other room will be the food pantry, new,
Expanding the
much
food
bigger
pantry.
space, and the medical loan closet. So the room will be remediated, it'll be clean, but it doesn't have to be as fancy.
Right, it won't be public facing except for our volunteers, but it'll be a lot safer space than our current space, which is got carpeting that's trip hazard, it's got racks everywhere and medical loan equipment everywhere. So we're very hopeful that starting July 1, that didn't sound good. We lost Lauren. Maybe she got somewhere.
She's probably driving through Woodbridge.
Anyway, so that's the update on that. And lastly is our opioid prevention programming with Lainey.
Lauren Miller.
Hi Lauren, welcome back.
Hi, sorry. I
That's
think
good.
the call dropped. Sorry about that.
That's okay. So the opioid prevention programming, we had Hidden in Plain Sight program last week. We have a Narcan training next week. Actually, it's this week. Right, February 3rd. It's tomorrow night, I think. And we have, and that looks like it's going to be a good class. We're going to give away test strips and naloxone to people who attend who would like to have that. We got tentative approval for a grant that Lainey applied for. It's a mini grant through the Connecticut State Opioid Response Initiative, and it's approximately $5,000. They actually wrote back and said, think of more stuff to do, we want to give you the whole $5,000. Which you don't hear very often, so we brainstormed and she's doing a great job. And future programs after the naloxone training is Lunch and Learn at the center with Amity Pharmacy, yes, right. And a prevention-themed poster contest for AMSB and at the high school students. So she's got to buy some good prizes and it should be great. So it's very helpful to get more money. The opioid grant did stack up enough, but we are spending on her salary, so to get more money in to cover costs of things like the drug take-back day postcard, which is almost $2,000, and supplies for these programs. It's just awesome to have that opportunity. That's it for me. Other questions?
I'll make a motion to accept the Human Services report. Take a second. Arnie, thank you. And where did I put that? Okay. All in favor?
Yes.
Thank you. All right. Under my section, I did reach out to Erin to see if she would be interested in filling Pat Madden's seat as vice chair. And I was very happy to get an enthusiastic yes. And so I'd like to make a motion to nominate Erin Scanlon as vice chair of the Human Services Commission. Do I have a second? Janet, I was looking at you, so you're the second. All right.
Apparently, in addition to raising your hand, you have to speak up.
Right. I just happened to have eye contact. Any discussion? Any questions? All in favor?
Yeah.
Can I raise two hands? Thank you very much for stepping up, Erin.
Sure.
And I may turn to Jeanette to help me with the Community Service Department update. It's still being talked about as something that may happen, but it's not going to happen on this fiscal year. Right? So I think that is as far as I know, and I think you've been given maybe some other clues, but I really haven't.
So it's tough. It's really tough because we're being told that our budget will be merged with rec, but we're not given any direction on what that will look like. We've got Nancy potentially, now that you've said something, potentially retiring in the next few months, but there's a hiring freeze on, and it doesn't look like the youth services director will be funded in next year's budget. So not only am I concerned about how programming will materialize next year, I'm concerned about how we complete the programming we're committed to for this year. The grant reporting, the programs that are required of us to get the data for the grant reporting. There are still 4 more grant reportings. There's the 3rd and 4th quarter, there's a financial, and there's an end of year report that all have to be completed, and there's no one more qualified than Nancy to do that. But if she's not here, we're going to have to jump in and get that work completed. And Ashley's brand new and needs oversight, so there are some questions we have, some serious questions about how we're going to finish this year and what next year will look like. And at this point, I think I'm being told to wait. And so that's the only answer I have is there's a lot of other stuff going on. We've got this budget going on. There's all kinds of other meetings that are hot topic issues, and this doesn't potentially look like a priority right now. And so, my direct questions are going to go to Tony and Mika, and we'll see if we can resolve some of these questions with solutions. But
And there hasn't been any discussion that I've been part of to change the configuration of this commission.
right.
So we're just going to proceed on and do our good work.
If anything, they replaced members of the Recreation Commission when there were people who had gone off, and they've replaced Debbie here when, it was an opportunity to do some kind of merging of the 2 boards. Right now, you really can't, because the articles, the
Oh,
the
Charter.
ordinances, sorry, not the charter, but the ordinances say the town has to have a human services commission, says it has to have a recreation commission. So I think ordinance would have to change that, and so for now, they're fulfilling the numbers on these commissions, and hopefully at some point, you know, if they're gonna merge, there's only gonna be one board for the human services, no, community services director to report to. So, that's it from me.
But there is no community services director, is there?
No, there's no community services department.
Exactly.
The idea was to
And the
create
building's
that.
not ready.
that's a
wouldn't have anything to
different
do with it.
entity. The community and cultural center is a separate entity. So I can see why that could be confusing because it says community. But that does not have a person assigned to it as a
And
director.
it has not been determined on whether or not, if they hire someone for that building, if they would be under the community services director, or if they would be under something from town hall. So that has not been determined either.
All right,
Lots to be,
a lot of work to do.
yeah, all right, well, very exciting. Gotta think it's an opportunity, so.
Any old business?
Oh, we have to vote on that.
Oh, we have to vote on
My report.
your report?
Oh, no, your report. No, we don't.
No, we don't have to vote on mine.
Never mind.
Okay.
Oh, it's on my report.
Any new business or old business to bring up? Then I will make a motion to end our meeting at 8:08. And I'll take a second. Okay. Janet, I keep looking at you, I must be looking at your flower. And it passes by acclamation.
I didn't realize there was a card under it.
Yes, there is.
Did I open it now?
Yes, you may. You may. And the meeting is officially over now.
And,